What's up, guys, and welcome back to Paint Bravely, the podcast where you can find a little bit of encouragement, discover new ways to make your hobby more fun, and most importantly, learn to paint bravely. Now, today we're going to go through a few of our lists of wants and likes and things that we think you might be able to find useful as far as gift giving goes to your hobby friends, hobby family members. But before we get into that, of course, what have you been up to since the last time we talked, Brent?
Oh, big things are afoot. I don't know if you can see it in this frame, but my table here is covered in bits. We've got Slaves to Darkness here. I've decided to go big again and use the time remaining here in COVID isolation to finally get a real Warhammer army painted. You know, if I'm trapped inside in a year for a full year and I don't come out of it with an army, what have I been doing?
It's a good
painting
point.
my face on a Yeti. That's what I've been doing. But
there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, so at the beginning of the year, before COVID was a thing, I painted up one Start Collecting box for Slaves to Darkness. I got that really fun, like deep orangey yellow color on the armor, and this is a situation where almost a year later I'm still really loving that color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good enough for me. You know, I have improved a year's worth of painting in that time, or maybe not. Maybe I haven't improved that much, but I've improved some in that time.
No, you have. You have.
Thanks, Casey. Thanks. But even with hindsight and new skills, I still like that color scheme. So that is good enough. It has some staying power. Time to just get a full 2,000 plus point army of it. Now, that army was based on the new Start Collecting box for Slaves to Darkness, which has, the new Chaos Warriors, the new Chaos Knights, and the Lord on Karkadrak.
Mm-hmm.
And when I bought that Start Collecting box, I did my normal fear of missing out thing, and I also bought 2 copies of the Start Collecting box that I knew would be going out of print. So
right.
So that that one has the Chaos Sorcerer and more warriors and more knights and a slightly different sculpt, and yeah, so I've got that, and it had the chariot too.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in my house I have a total of 4 Start Collecting boxes for Slaves to Darkness. 1 is painted, and 3 are in the process of being assembled. From that haul video I did, the used by haul, I had a lot more Chaos Warriors than that. And so this is going to be a pretty meaty army. And yeah, I just decided to set up my time lapses again, set up my big stupid clock behind me, and get this army done.
Nice.
So if I don't post anything on Goobertown Hobbies for like a few months, you'll know something's coming though.
Yeah, you're not dead. It's fine.
Not
you
dead.
Can stop asking.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, I mean, on that topic, I do need to keep posting on Goobertown Hobbies. I found that it's somewhere around the 2-week mark. If I don't post a new video, I do start to get concerned citizens asking if I'm okay, which is appreciated, but at the same time, that means I've got to make sure I get a video out at least every 2 weeks. I don't want people to worry.
I mean, look, out of anybody that I know who's on YouTube and who has been successful, I think you are the only person that can go literal weeks without posting anything, and people are like, so hey, when you gonna post up a new video? And you're just like, whenever. And then you do, and it does really well, and it just continues this massive behemoth that is Goobertown Hobbies.
Well, that's the plan. Now, I should say that I do plan to post every week. It just sometimes it doesn't happen. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret, Casey. Right now, we're recording very late on a Monday evening, and I actually have a video loaded onto YouTube and scheduled to publish Tuesday morning, which
All right.
It's not a collaboration video or anything. I
There's no
restrained
obligation.
myself from hitting the button. I uploaded it, and I didn't hit the button at like 6:30 at night on a Monday.
Thank God for that.
We're gonna wait. We're gonna post it Tuesday morning at 8 Eastern time. It's gonna be the return of Goobertown Tuesdays for at least one episode, and then we'll see.
For at least the one, yeah.
Maybe 2 Tuesdays later, I'll put out another episode. We'll see. No promises. But
now is this having to do with like possible whippy stick action?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to bring this up. Now, there's been, I don't know, some argument, if you will, that whippy sticks only come in one color.
What color is that, Casey?
I think you just gave it away. Well, according to you, whippy sticks only come in red. And I have only ever gotten blue ones. Ever. I do not own a red whippy stick. Now, if you don't know what a whippy stick is, I know Brent's trying to find one right now, but it's the 18-inch ruler that comes in the Start Collecting boxes and a bunch of other boxes. Whippy sticks. Yeah. So, you can hear that in the podcast. I'm sure that'll cut through on the microphone just fine. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear anything you said, but they only come in red.
Don't worry, I got you covered. But I swear to you, I literally do not own a single red whippy stick. I only have blue ones, and I have like 5 or 6 of them. So I don't know why this is a thing. Is this a regional thing? Maybe?
I really don't know. I am sure that those came in the Bretonnian vs. Lizardmen Warhammer box set back in the day. I don't know where else they came.
I mean, they're in, like, I think I got, what, one in Age of Sigmar Start Collecting? Some other game. I know I definitely got a blue one in the old Necromunda box.
Okay, well, leave a comment if you have an 18-inch polystyrene whippy stick from Games Workshop.
Yeah.
And most importantly, let us know what color it is.
Yeah.
And Meat Popsicle, don't lie. Tell us for real what color you got. We're trying to do an actual survey here to answer a question, and we don't need your foolishness.
Right. We haven't seen old Meat Popsicle in a while. Pete Mopsicle, he hasn't shown up in a minute either. Corbin Dallas, though, he's been around.
We've had some commenters that I'm pretty sure is Meat Popsicle, but
right.
I don't know. Not
Someday
100%.
we'll clear the air on this whole Meat Popsicle issue. We'll have to talk about it eventually.
Yeah, we'll pull somebody aside at Adepticon and have a little chat.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. A massive army build underway.
Yes. And you've implied that you might have something similar coming up.
Yes. I don't know if you can also see on my side of the room, there's a bunch of crap behind me. And I've got like, I don't know, 90 or 100 bloodletters and a bunch of skull crushers and just a giant Khorne army ready to go. I've been putting together an old Bloodthirster today for a video that will have gone up by the time you're listening to this episode. It will have come out the day before this comes up. So
such confidence.
I mean, I haven't missed an upload. Technically,
no, you've got it down.
Yeah, my schedule's pretty tight these days. Like I kind of I have a good feel as to where I'm at. Now, that being said, I am technically behind, and it is only the first day of the week. I feel behind a little bit because constructing a 30-year-old Bloodthirster with half the parts missing was a lot more intimidating and, I don't know, time intensive than I was anticipating. So I'm hoping to get paint on it by Wednesday. We'll see how it goes. It'll be an awesome video either way.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are all, what, demons of corn kind of thing?
Pretty much, yeah. I've got some,
Yeah.
the mortal ones, whatever, all the alive guys, the non-demony guys. I've got a bunch that came with this army that I bought.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll probably include them in the army because I plan on selling this army whenever it's done, But I don't know. I'd have to build a list, to see if they fit or how that works together. But there will be a lot of demons. So that's
okay,
fine.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the corn half of like the first Age of Sigmar box.
Yeah.
And the Warriors of Corn or something like that. But I'm thinking about whether, if I need to convert a little bit to make a corn guy into a Slave to Darkness warrior. We'll see.
I mean, I think you throw a shield on one of those guys and it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, the armor is pretty similar. The corn heads look so silly with the like weird wing horns.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're supposed to be. I don't like them.
It's like that corn symbol. Just turn into a helmet.
Yeah. Of course, my tastes, evolve over time, and maybe a couple of years from now, I'll wake up and will think that's just the coolest thing, or have an idea for how to paint it, but not yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you never know. Like a couple weeks ago, I was really, really bagging on, like, space robots and stuff, and then all of a sudden this Tau something or other took over, and now I have a bunch more Tau stuff now too. I've purchased quite a bit. Like it's a sizable force now. Yeah.
Nice. I'm happy to hear that.
It's good. I'm hoping to finish, before COVID is officially over and we have a legit vaccine. At
and
least
it's expected
3 armies.
That you leave your house.
Yeah, exactly. Where I can't use that excuse anymore.
Casey, literally everybody else in the world is happy to leave their house right now. What are you doing?
Right, exactly.
Towel? Yeah.
Well, I got a job. I got to do a job. Sorry.
I made a promise.
Exactly. I'm not leaving until this is done.
I'm not leaving until this.
Oh, you're never leaving your house. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Responsibility is important, Casey. So yeah, you should try to finish up those Tau before it becomes an issue.
Yeah, because it's only getting worse.
Look, we're heading into a very dark winter here, but if you ignore the outside world and paint those Tau, that's one way to get through it. So we've got some good projects coming up. I like that.
Yeah.
Reporting in, I've successfully made it to Hobby Streak Day 41, and by the time folks are listening to this, I might even be on Day 48, so that's cool. Getting something done that's postable every day, and I really need to be getting a lot of these Chaos Warriors assembled and painted, so that'll give me something to do.
Yeah, that'll take up some Hobby Streak days for sure.
That feed is going to be really boring, though.
Yeah, I clean really more mold lines.
Just... Yeah, real boring.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not my fault. Yeah.
Exactly. You're just doing what the Hobby Streak is telling you to do. That's all.
That's right.
It has to be done.
Has to be done.
Yeah.
We normally don't get too much into Games Workshop news, but they had an announcement, and they're announcing a new Warhammer Underworlds warband for basically Slaves to Darkness characters, and so there's 3 new warriors and 1 new mage character in the style of their most recent Chaos Warriors, and nice. They look good. And I wish they were coming out a month before they are coming out so that they would fit nicely into this whole assembly line, but right. I think they'll get an episode from me. I think they're pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, even if they come out, a month after or whatever, pick them up and then just do a little rehash of everything and say, and now I'm adding these. Yeah.
Yeah, but and they'll be perfect for unit leaders, and one of them basically is Slambo, except he looks modern and good. Well, he's he's a big Chaos Warrior, and he has 2 weapons kind of held out at the sides.
Sure,
and they're not both axes. Well, I think it's 1 axe and 1 sword, but it's Slambo. Whether or not you switch out the sword, it's Slambo.
That's going to be happening all over the place.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'll actually put Slambo in the army. My understanding is that just slow-moving commanders on foot aren't actually that useful. At least every time I play with my friends, like their stupid necromancer just gets left behind and isn't doing much anything.
Yeah. Just to talk about it. Played a game a while ago with like one of the slow 4-inch moving corn commanders. And it's just like, it was some old rules too, like early Age of Sigmar. But it wasn't the worst thing. It got like a double turn every turn, like in combat or something. That was pretty cool.
Okay.
I don't know. This is just food for thought.
Well, in a world where we play games again, yeah.
Right. That's really what we're doing this for. We're just staying inside, finishing the army, so that now we can actually go out. And when we can go out, we should go out.
Good point. And hold us to that, viewers, you know?
Yeah.
If it comes April and we're all vaccinated and Casey and I are talking about staying in our basements and painting, you know, at that point, please come back to us, Pete Mopsicle, and leave a comment that just says, go outside. Go, you're free now. Go.
Yeah. You know, we are definitely going to be having that conversation, though, when it actually was, you know, when it finally is here. People are going to be like,
the sun is so bright. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm fine. Like, I got used to this. Like, no, we need to go outside.
I'm good. Yeah, thanks. And let's see, in that same bit of news, Games Workshop said they're coming out with a new codex for Drukhari, so the one I bought 2 years ago is trash now. I'll just throw that away and
just
never buy another one because I can't keep up. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I got called out for that. Cause, you know, last time we talked, I bought the Orc Codex because I was in the store, right? And apparently there's a new one coming out any day now. So I just wasted $40. So whatever.
Well,
yeah.
There you go. You supported your local store or something.
I mean, that's what I tell myself. It was a Warhammer store. I'm not sure how much they actually need the support, or if Games Workshop's just like, we need a presence. This is marketing, so we're paying for it either way.
No, I'm pretty sure the managers like get crap if they don't sell enough, even if it is COVID times. Like,
yeah, we've already in my local area. There's already been one manager that he opened with the store and then was there for like a year, and was pretty much just like, nope, like can't keep up.
Okay, so the actual effect was like you made the life of the manager slightly easier by buying your book there.
Yeah.
Slightly amped those sales numbers and made his end of the month conference call go just a little bit smoother. So.
Right. I hope so. That'd be nice.
You could be proud of that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel all right now.
What else here? What else is new with you, Casey?
All right. Well, I guess we can get into this now, since I haven't actually told you, and maybe we'll end up cutting this. So my wife is pregnant.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thanks. You have not told me this. This is news. Very cool.
I meant to before we started recording. You know, just to not make it throw that way off. But yeah, we're turns out we're having a little girl. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you better get this army painted in the next few months, buddy. Yeah.
By April. I have to get all the hobby done before April. Yeah.
Yeah, the The corn army needs to be out of the nursery by April.
That's why I'm selling it, though. Yeah. Diapers aren't free. How about that?
That's right. Well, that's great news, Casey.
Yeah.
And you're ready to share it with the world here, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just kind of waiting till, we knew what it was, and we told, important family members first. Because, it'd be weird if I just shared that on a podcast before I told my parents.
Yeah, and since your parents don't listen to the podcast, it might be a while before they found out. Or they'd find out from entirely the wrong people. Yeah.
Exactly. I have no idea if they listen to this or not. I kind of hope not. That'd be weird. They probably do. Yeah, so that's going on. But yeah, it's a weird thing. The last time this happened, I had a son. Like, I really felt the need to get a lot of hobbying done in that kind of 9 months, Like, I built everything that I owned, and I put paint of some sort on everything that I owned, and, like, completely burned myself out. This was before I started the channel. And then I basically quit again. I was just like, holy crap, like, I can't do this. That's just too much stuff. But then, like, I think it was a week before he was born, I hadn't painted in a couple weeks. And I was in the delivery room. We were just kind of waiting, It's kind of a waiting game when that happens. And that... Did
you say the week before he was born, you were in the delivery room?
Oh, no, I was going to say the week before, yeah. No, the night that we were in the delivery room, the night before that he was born.
Just kind of waiting,
Yeah, as you do in a hospital for about a week or so. I bought like, that's when I bought the 100 or so goblins off of eBay.
Memories.
Launched it all back in, yeah. So this time we got Tau, a corn army. It's all downhill.
I wish I knew more Tau names. I could make jokes about naming your daughter, but
it's funny because
it's a girl. She's born 7 pounds 1 ounce. Her name is Captain Storm Shield, and it's funny, the Vaushera. I don't know.
Okay. The name that we do have picked out is just about as nerdy as that. So, I don't know. I'll pin you in the comments if you can guess what it is.
Grogu.
No, that's not it.
All right. I'll try again. I'll get it. All
right. Okay.
I've got time. I got 4 months to paint this army and guess the name of your upcoming daughter. So, well, that's excellent news, Casey.
Well, thank you.
But we're starting to get comments that this isn't a baby podcast, though. So let's move it along here, buddy.
That is too bad. Like, if your cat's butthole could be on our podcast, I can talk about my unborn child.
It's a good variety show,
Exactly. Why don't we get into our main topic for the day? And that is gift ideas, different types of things that, we think might be useful for people. Or, if you have, boyfriend, girlfriend, friend, whoever, parents that you want to share this podcast with, maybe tell them to skip to this timestamp part. This is where the meat is. Hopefully. So what kind of gift ideas for a wargamer, Brent? What kind of things?
Okay, so this is either wargaming or painting. Mm-hmm. So we've got categories and subcategories here, but you got to decide, Are you given a model? Are you given paints? Are you given tools? And they all have pros and cons here.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to, maybe let's talk about models first, because I think models are kind of highest risk and highest reward, maybe, in terms of
Yeah,
how appreciated they are, the breadth of smile that you get on the gifty's face.
that is true. That is true. Obviously, the first thing that stands out with a model is, does that model fit into that person's army? Because that's gonna be probably the biggest smiles for most people.
You think so? I was okay. I'm going to let you continue with that, but I'm actually
Interesting.
thinking that picking something of, if they are a Warhammer person or whatever, picking something of their faction, I think it's kind of risky. But continue.
Okay, I can see how that might be a thing. Like if you, if you can only play one of that model and someone buys you the same one of, then yeah, that would probably be a feel bad type of a thing. But I don't know, like I don't know. Maybe because we've been in the hobby for a while, seeing a one of model that we already have is more like opportunity, than a disappointment. That could be. So hey, if that happens to you, think of it as an opportunity.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I've already got 2 Chaos Lords on Carcadrax here.
Right.
And, if I got a third one, I'd figure out something to do with it. But it might be, a little bit better if I got a Chaos War Shrine, carried by those 2 ogres.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's a little bit better. And somebody who's a bit removed from the hobby, either, the example of the significant other or parents or whatever, they're not going to know what a Carcadrak is. I barely know what a Carcadrak is.
Yeah, that's true.
And so a lot of this stuff is so esoteric for somebody who's not really deep into your specific codex and your specific collection.
Right.
That, if we're doing Warhammer, go into a Warhammer store, you might be able to at least get, like, this is the section. They said something about Drukari. Okay, like here's the 5 boxes you have to choose from, and you've got a picture on the box, and you've got a price point. And other than that, it's almost a shot in the dark whether or not the gifty needs that. Unless the gifty has been so specific that they're telling you, I want the Chaos War Shrine, and at that point, what's the fun left in giving a gift?
I mean, that's true enough. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna be smiling, but if they're expecting a Chaos War Shrine, like, then it's just risk that you'll somehow screw that up anyway.
Why'd you buy me the pewter one, Mom? Yeah, I can see that. It's a little tough. I mean, because we are so specific, and the naming conventions of anything tabletop gaming related is just so stupid. Yeah. Like, no one is gonna get that. They're gonna go in and say, well, what's Billy gonna like, Mr. Store Person? He'll like Cabalite Warriors. Okay, cool. Hope he has room for these extra 20 of them.
Hey, this Billy would love some Cabalite Warriors.
See, there you go.
This Billy has a lot of Cabalite Warriors already.
That's my point, though. Like, generally, that's the thing that you have too much of already. Like, they're the cheapest thing.
Never have too many Dark Eldar Warriors.
I mean...
But yeah, with the example of Chaos, Judy walks into Games Workshop and says, Billy likes the Chaos. Mm-hmm. And then... Even if she gets the question right, is it dark future chaos, or is it medieval chaos?
Right.
Is it medieval magic chaos or future robot chaos? Even if Judy is able to get that question right. Slaves to Darkness, Disciples of Tzeentch, you got your Khorne, you got your other Khorne, you got your... I mean, even if Judy there knows need a Chaos Lord, there's a lot of answers to that question, and some of them they're all cool models. I think they're all cool models. I don't know. Some of them might not be. I think there's a lot of cool models in there, but some of them are wrong. Yeah.
My suggestion is, if in fact you are the person going out to buy this gift, and for some reason you are listening to this podcast at the request of someone else, just ask them what color it is. Because if it's red, it means something. If it's silver, it means something. If it's green, or if it's bluish and pink, and I'm just saying, there are simple ways to get this information across, right?
Oh man, I'm loving like all the ways that could go wrong.
I know.
I think that has like funny or wrong answers, but I think shopping for a painter is easier than shopping for a gamer.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Because a gamer like has their list and they know where the holes in their list are, and you know there needs to be some really specific knowledge about a lot of things to really nail that kind of purchase.
Absolutely.
So in that case, if your person that you're buying for really likes to play games and is intending to use these, is hoping to use a gift from you in a game, you either gotta kind of ask them a little more specifics, or you could just do the gift certificate route.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been
the gift certificate
disappointed.
isn't as much fun. It's no risk, no reward. That's just you taking care of a Christmas obligation. I mean, they'll certainly get the use out of it, but it's not as fun as making a choice and committing to that choice, and rolling the dice and see how it goes. Like, yeah.
I got you hex wraiths, Billy. Those are dead, chaotic things. Yeah, how'd I do? Yeah. I wanted a mortise engine, Mom. Yeah.
I got this one because it looks like a pyramid.
Right, it looks ghostly. It's green. It's glowing. Yeah. Shopping for a painter is definitely a completely different type of experience. And I think because, like, paint is a finite amount of, it's a resource, right? Like, eventually, I'm going to run out of that paint. So if I get a paint that I've already gotten, I don't feel bad about that. It's
True.
More paint for the pile.
Yeah.
New brands of paint, new different... Now, okay. I've had bad experiences with this. And we can get into that, I suppose, after. But why don't you give me some of your reasons why, like, buying for a painter is definitely easier?
So even within, like, if you're going to give a mini, there are so many great minis to paint.
Mm-hmm.
If they like, if you're given that prompt of chaos, you can go out and get Creature Caster or some giant, demon from beyond. You can get so many really awesome and kind of like rare things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of giving a gift is that you want it to be a little bit unexpected, something that they would not have purchased for themselves, something that they didn't know they want, but as soon as they see it, they are excited about it, and we'll hopefully be able to get some use and enjoyment out of it. And so right now in the Goobertown Discord, one of the mods put together a really great Secret Santa exchange, and we're recording this episode early morning of December 1st, but we've already seen a lot of the exchanges happen already. Very good organization and incredible work. And Mifflin, congratulations on the engagement. That's really great. Even more exciting than Casey's upcoming daughter, honestly.
Harsh.
But no, scrolling through this incredible list of like gifts that painters and gamers have given to each other. And there are some gifts of like specialty paints and tools and stuff like that. But some of the most awesome stuff is the just completely off the wall. Where did you even find this mini? I've never even heard of this company before, but wow, this is like a pretty big, really detailed goblin bust. Or like this is a adventuring cat mini, or this is, wow, that dog is especially jacked, but in like kind of a cool way. Where did you find this? This is awesome. And so because painters can find use and enjoyment in, I think, a much wider range of minis, doesn't have to be from your particular army, your faction, your game, whatever. Doesn't have to be the same scale or doesn't have to be a particular material. As long as it's cool and gets you excited and gets you to spend some happy hours at the painting table, yeah, you've won. You know, something, even if it doesn't get on their painting table immediately, if it is a unique and interesting addition to the pile of opportunity, that's still a win. You know, that's the day will come when that crazy looking tiger monk is the perfect, you know, just
exactly
perfect thing.
I think that from now on, we should definitely call our pile of shame a pile of opportunity. That's very Paint Bravely. It's a very, very PB thing to say. You know what I mean?
A very PB thing to say. Yeah.
So, I like that. Pile of opportunity. I mean, that's what it is, though. Every single time you go through it, it's opportunity to find something or to rediscover something. And yeah, you're right. Like buying a model for someone who predominantly paints, it's a lot easier because, like for me personally, every model is good. I don't care if I have 10 of them. I will find a way to use it and paint it or do something with it. It's an opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah. And with minis, there are so many companies out there, and you know, even you and I, Casey, like are familiar with like 10 or 20 of them, but there are
right?
hundreds of mini companies out there.
Yeah.
And there's so much cool stuff, and it is easily possible to get something unexpected but worthwhile and quality. And so for giving a mini, you know, in some ways, I think it's almost safer to not even try to get the right thing from Games Workshop. Yeah. And there are great things you can get in Games Workshop, whether you get their specific faction or go outside their faction. But I don't know. As a strategic choice, I really respect the just going for an oddball display bust, you know, something out there.
So let me turn the tables, I guess. If, you know, obviously the audience, the people that we interact with, that listen to this podcast, are miniature painters and game players, right? So maybe a good question to answer would be, how do you ask someone else? You know, when they say, hey, what can I get you for the holidays? Like, how do you explain that to them where it's not necessarily like, well, I want this something very specific or a gift card so I can go get that? You know, in the realm of miniature painting, I suppose. You know, how do you ask for that?
Any other year, I think I would recommend that they go to, you know, the hobby store and say, you know, I'm shopping for my goober, and they like to paint, and I don't know, what do you got in this price range?
They're gonna be like, we got custom magic cards that somebody painted. You want that?
Anyone who well, it depends how distant the aunt is, but if the aunt is getting you a present, they probably know that you're painting figurines. Like,
oh, I know. I'm more ragging on the hobby shops. At least in my area, there's like one or nah, I think two now that do miniatures, and like I've legitimately walked into a hobby shop that like popped up. I'm like, sweet, new hobby shop in the area. I'm gonna go check it out, and I go in, and there's like, we only play trading card games here, like no joke. And I'm like, cool, thanks. And I literally just walked out. It's like, all right, you're kidding, right? Like, don't treat me like an idiot. Like I came into the store. I usually buy something from a store. Like if I'm just there.
Yeah, when I accidentally wander into one of those stores, I walk around and I find something like, oh, Cards Against Humanity. Like I need that in my collection. Like yeah, sure. I feel like I should buy something, but every once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so my method involved there being a store that sells miniatures near your Aunt Judy. Well, yeah, that makes it a little harder if there isn't.
Just throwing it out.
But there are a lot of good possibilities if you do that. Mm-hmm. So something I don't want to forget to mention, but within Games Workshop, I really like the Underworlds line. Mm-hmm. The $30 or $35 little boxes that have like 5 nice, unique, really well sculpted figures that are great for painting. And like, the Underworlds lines, there've been like maybe 20 warbands out, maybe something like that.
Quite a few,
and almost all of them have had at least one model where if I had the time, I would love to paint it. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of depending on how valued a friend or family member you are. Like the 30 USD range is a reasonable price point for a gift. Like
that feels decent for like a like a nephew or something.
Again, it depends how valued you are, but it's a package that has a variety of different things to paint. It maybe it could be argued that it is a useful game purchase, mm-hmm. because there may come the opportunity to play Underworlds, and if they are just a painter, there's probably a pretty good chance that there's a nice mini in there to have several fun hours with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are sweet boxes. Yeah,
they really are. Yeah.
I've been meaning to get several of them for quite a while.
Right.
Yeah. I actually just bought, I think it's Garrick's Reavers, the corn one, like not too long ago. And it came in a nice squishy foam, like a battle foam somebody had made. So.
Oh, you bought on eBay, of course.
Yeah, yes. Of course I did. Come on now. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, all the cards are sleeved and everything.
Yeah, so in terms of buying minis as a gift, I think something like that is a really good option. Like mm-hmm. high quality individual sculpts, a little bit of variety in there. And again, the nice thing with Underworlds is that there is the argument that they would actually be used in a game someday. It is a mm-hmm. complete force. You cannot get more complete than a complete warband that has all the cards in it for it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that doesn't necessitate any other purchases as long as one of their friends owns the core set of Underworlds. Mm-hmm. And if not, they're not going to be playing anyway. So
yeah, that's true. But hey, they're nice models. And I mean, technically, I think all of those warbands, and this goes for Warcry too, are all usable in Age of Sigmar.
That's true.
So regardless, like, they're useful for something.
Yeah, I think if you're looking for a specific recommendation for me, that is going to be my recommendation is in like the Warhammer universe is one of those Underworlds warbands.
Yeah, I definitely second you on that for sure.
There's like a high percentage chance of not being a complete whiff. I think that's a pretty good choice. Yeah. And it is at a price point where it's a nice gift, but you're also not breaking the bank if it doesn't quite work out. So
right. Yeah, and like I said earlier, like any model, even if it's a duplicate, is a good model. Like you put it on that pile of opportunity, you'll find something to do
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, so I'm getting ready to shift into talking about tools and supplies and paints here, but do you got any other recommendations on the model front there, Casey?
I
Or do
think
you have any ideas of how to successfully communicate to your aunt how to shop for you?
the most successful way I've found over the years is well, okay, all right, little story time. Go back. So when I was I'm going way back now. When I was in 7th grade, right? I heard this announcement over the intercom. They were hiring for this school-funded grant program, whatever it was, to learn how to do specific things, and you would make money. You'd make $7 an hour. Whopping $7 an hour. When I was, 13, that's pretty sweet, right? So I ended up taking this test going in. I ended up taking in 7th grade. It was like this specialty high school, like a charter high school computer class. But the whole point of it was to learn HTML. So we learned HTML, like pretty basic stuff, but how to build websites. So I eventually started to build my Christmas list every year into a website. And then I would host it for free on some free place, back in the day. And then I would send the link to everyone in my family. So I used to literally put everything up, basically like an Amazon wish list.
You made a wedding registry every year for Christmas.
Yeah, pretty much. Worked real good, though. Yeah. So like an Amazon wish list.
Did you ever get 3 copies of Chaos Lord on Carcadrack from 3 different relatives, or?
No, that never happened. I can't say that it did.
That's a good system.
Yeah, like it worked out pretty good, especially for being back in the day. Like that was the clever solution that I came up with. But yeah, like today I just throw a billion things on Amazon on an Amazon wish list, and I save that. So it's like I'm never not gonna be disappointed. I'm not gonna be disappointed, but I'm pretty much always gonna be surprised because I've got stuff on that wish list going back, years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you just never know. As long as your wish list is substantial, then you'll be surprised. Yeah, but not disappointed. As far as models go, I'd throw in Warcry warbands. They're around the same price, and they're all pretty awesome.
So hold on. Back to models for just a second. Another option is for you to paint something for somebody, and this is an option where you don't have to be giving for a hobbyist. You could be giving for a hobbyist, but you don't have to be.
Right.
Look, last year, for my little cousins, I painted up a 6-pack of painted Brents. I 3D printed some Brents, and I painted them different colors, and I passed them off as a gift. And
of yourself.
It's a stupid gift. Not everybody is able to give a gift such as this, which is what makes it special,
Yes.
And incredibly silly. But but if you want to give a Hummel, a figurine instead of giving a project, if you want to give a completed figure that someone can use in their D&D game or can put on their shelf or next to their computer at work or whatever, that is also an option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And being handmade, hand painted or whatever, most people, even if it's not the best paint job, like that impresses people, as a gift.
Yeah. Now, if you are in like an RPG group, or someone you're giving a gift for is in an RPG group, and you happen to know them well enough to know what their character is, that's a cool gift to try to get a figure that's kind of like their level 4 fighter and try to paint it up the way you see that character, or you think maybe they see that character. Again, that's one of the ones that requires you knowing the person a little bit more, but always keep in mind that as painters, we have the ability to not just spend money, but to put a little bit of handcrafting effort into our gifts if there's an obvious opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Anybody can appreciate a little Christmas goblin ornament or something.
Right. Actually, my wife and I were just talking about that, taking the last year's red gobbo and putting a hook through his head and calling it an ornament.
Hey, that's an option. Actually, that's a pretty good option. I'm going to put that on my list. Because again, you can give that to anybody. Like, you can give that to Aunt Judy, and Aunt Judy won't quite know what all the guns and grenades are about, and she won't know why he's green, but she understands it's a little cartoon character in Christmas gear like that.
Yeah.
That transcends all boundaries.
He's like the Grinch, but worse.
Yeah. Oh, who's this? A little Grinch?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he's a little Grinch. Isn't he cute? Yeah, he's cute. And you painted the eyes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Casey and I are not the best gift givers, but we've got ideas, sort of.
So true, though.
All right. Yeah, I guess we've gotten this far into the podcast and we realize that we're both moderate gift givers.
Maybe that unravels the entire idea.
Before.
Yeah.
It was my idea for this topic, but I was assuming that you would come with something a little bit better than Grinch Goblin Christmas ornament. But it's fine. I mean, it's fine. Everyone's going to give Goblin Christmas ornaments now.
If I sent you in the mail a red gobbo Christmas ornament, you telling me you wouldn't be happy about that as a painter and minigame?
I'd be very happy. Very happy.
See,
okay.
We're doing fine.
Okay. All right. So let's move on from minis here. If they like to paint almost any cool mini you get them, they'll go into the pile, and eventually the day will be right. Their moment will come, and that will be the perfect thing. So if you're buying for a painter, get them a sweet mini that they don't have.
Yeah.
And you can guarantee they don't have it by buying from a crazy company or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into tools and supplies.
All right.
We're buying for someone who likes to paint. What do we get?
Tools and supplies is like, it's a weird thing. Every time I go to look for new tools and supplies, I'm always disappointed kind of coming out of that session, I guess. Like, nothing ever jumps out at me. Every so often something pops up, right? You get your sanding sticks, right? Like the new holy crap kind of a thing. Like, I need this tool on my bench. But it feels few and far between. Exactly. You're just holding it for good luck. I mean, sanding sticks alone make a good Christmas present for any hobbyist who probably doesn't have sanding sticks. I mean, come on. Just don't buy the ones on Amazon.
I'm laughing over here, Casey. Hey?
I know.
Yeah, give a $2 pack of sanding twigs is a great addition to almost any gift that you could be giving a hobbyist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in conjunction with.
It's a nice little stocking stuffer, or
yeah. I'd say if you look at the things that, again, they're usable items, right? Like they go away. So things like milliput and green stuff are kind of tough to get hold of, and those are good tools to have. X-Acto blades, like whatever the common one is, was like number 11. Can't remember. Even still, like buying a new X-Acto with the right blades isn't terribly expensive. Always useful, right?
Okay, I see why you put that on the list now. Yeah, in the notes here you have X-Acto blades. I'm like, what are you giving people a $2 knife for? But no, that actually makes a lot of sense because having a fresh blade alone is always a nice feeling.
Yes.
Okay, because it's one of those things that'll always be useful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's never not going to be useful. In particular, something that I actually get a lot of comments on, people asking about, are the small hand drills for like pinning models and stuff, or drilling out gun barrels. Yeah, Amazon, I think their whatever their recommended one is, Amazon Choice, it's like $9 or something, and it's a really good hand drill. Comes with a bunch of bits. So it's inexpensive, but it's like invaluable. Something that I pick up almost every single time I go to do a new project.
I like that. Yeah, it's a good one. Now I've got something else here. I just happen to have this on my table. This is the Citadel mold line scraper. What do you think about this, Casey? Yay or nay?
I mean, okay.
Because this doesn't go bad. You can't use this up.
No. So I know that there are
you can lose
specific. You could lose it. That's true. There are specific things about the mold line scraper from Games Workshop that is pretty nice. I mean, it's basically just a machined edge, right? So you have to have enough surface space from point A to point B in order to get that piece of metal in and actually take off a mold line. If you're trying to get in even further, you need an X-Acto blade anyways. So yeah, kind of might as well just use the cheaper X-Acto knife.
Yeah, I get that. that.
That being said, though, I've wanted one of those things for a while just because I think it's a cool little thing.
I can't even remember why I have this. I think this might have been like I'm in a store and I don't know what else to buy, but I want to buy something before I leave as like a social nicety. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, there's something about it. It like, you know, I like a well-branded piece of product, you know?
What about painting handles then? Do you have a little tirade in mind for this?
A tirade, not so much. I like painting handles. Unfortunately, the new Games Workshop painting handle is not that great. Like, it's dinky, and it's got that kind of like flute, like wine or champagne flute glass little stem on there. And it makes it really hard to hold. Like the older ones were bulky, right? But they still fit in the palm of your hand. The new one, I honestly don't understand why they changed it. It's not like they fixed the problems of the old one, you know? Like the same problem with the top of it exists now. It's not any different. They just made it slightly cheaper because there's less plastic. But if you can find the old handles, those are great gifts. And you can almost never have too many, you know?
That's a really good point. Yeah, the first generation painting handle, I find them fairly comfortable. And your point about you can never have enough, that's a really good point. I always like those Facebook and Instagram posts where somebody's showing their project and it's clear they bought, at least 10 of those things.
Yeah.
Right? And I make my own handles, and there are occasions where I like to have a lot of them available.
Yes.
And so an extra painting handle is never a bad thing. Yeah, for that new Games Workshop painting handle, I was trying to think if any other human contraption had a grip like that. And I didn't think of wine glasses, but you're right. That, like, humans, the thing that makes us different from all the other animals is that we can make and use tools. And in all of human history, I don't think we've ever made a tool that had a handle that looks like the second generation Games Workshop painting handle, which kind of tells you that it might not be optimal. Like, but you're right. I think wine glasses is the closest analogy, which I have no idea how to properly hold those things. I just kind of do a death grip on the stem and hope I don't drop it. Wish I had a mug.
That's basically how they I mean, that's what it feels like for the new painting handle. It's like you just kind of have to hold it on there and you're kind of just okay. I mean, you can kind of get your palm up around the base of the mini, but then it's kind of like, where's the stability? I could just hold the base of the mini. I don't know. It's I don't know. There's just something about it. It doesn't make any sense. Also because the wine glass is basically upside down, if you want to go with that analogy.
Ooh.
It's literally turned upside down. It's like you would be holding a wine glass the wrong way. So we don't actually have any, anything to compare that with, I suppose.
So yeah, I think on this topic, a painting handle is actually a decent gift, especially if it looks like it might be comfortable to hold. And you don't have to be an expert in anything to look at a handle and know whether that fits into a person's hand correctly.
Yeah. You'll look at the new one, you'll see the old ones, and you'll know.
Yeah. Okay. And I like that because you can never have too many. It might be a little bit annoying if you have like 3 from different companies, all different designs. That might get a little bit weird, but always good to try them out and know what your favorite is. So that's a decent tool, I'd say.
I mean, I certainly enjoy having them.
Yeah. All right, so the actual recommendation that I have here is in the consumable bracket, but I think like specialty paints, especially like small specialty paint sets, is always a pretty good choice. So in my mind, I have like one of the sets of shifters paints, the color shift paints, if you can get a set of like 6 of those. So the goal here is something that somebody maybe wouldn't try for themselves or wouldn't buy for themselves, but is kind of curious to try. Maybe the situation would come where it's exactly the right thing. So, one of these specialty sets of like different washes or different technical paints, or, even if you just want to pick up like white contrast paint for them, or, just, some oddball little thing. I actually remember a pretty cool gift I got from a family friend. Like this was when I was a wee one, but mother was out Christmas shopping and she was picking up like a box of orcs for me. And she happened to be out doing Christmas shopping with a family friend. And this friend asked the store employee, okay, what's like a color of paint that goes with these orc guys? And the store owner was like, we could get tin bits. And so just randomly from this family friend, I got, a $3 little can of tin bits, which is just almost a specialty paint. It's a metallic that nobody except orcs actually uses. Orcs and Skaven and Chaos, maybe, I don't know. But just kind of a one-off weird little paint that actually, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Or like a set of fluorescent paints, or a set of inks, or a set of washes. And I think there's a fair number of those types of products that have like a packaging of, 4 or 6 or 7 or 8, bottles in a single package. And that's a pretty good price point to be a decent gift. And at the same time, it's enough bottles to try out the line and see if you could find uses for it.
One of my favorite gifts that I've actually ever gotten for Christmas was a scale 75 flesh tone kit. So it had all the varieties, you know, all the highlights, the shadows, everything you would need to paint any kind of flesh tone that you want. And it was, I think, 30, 35 bucks, you know, and there are 7 or 8 paints in there. It's a good deal. And it is a set that I still use even right now. Like, it's been a couple years.
Yeah, that's a really cool example.
Every time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about the lines of paint that have the, like, kind of a color palette or like one part of the color wheel. You know, if you want to get all the purples from, and I'm blanking on what companies actually do this. You know, I know like Reaper sells their triads.
Yeah, Reaper's got those.
Scale 75, yeah.
Man. I almost want to say that's it, but no, Vallejo does too. They do too. I was actually just looking at some today. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. In that vein, Vallejo has a couple of different really good metallic products.
Oh, yeah.
So, especially if you're airbrushing, like the metallic game air, model air stuff, that's what I use a lot when airbrushing. And that stuff is pretty good. But going deeper, Vallejo has, is it just called Vallejo Metallics? Is that the
so there's Vallejo Metal Color and their Liquid Color line. Yeah. Vallejo Metal Color comes in mostly silvers. They have 1 gold, 1 copper, but you can kind of mix in different things to make that make a little more sense. The literal best metallics to use every day. Yeah, I threw away I didn't throw them away, but you know, all of the other metallics that I was using are now obsolete to me. It doesn't even matter. Vallejo Metal Color is hands down the best.
Yeah. You just sold a lot of bottles of Vallejo Metal Color, didn't you?
I hope so, because if they ever discontinue that stuff, like, it's gonna be a bad day for a lot of people.
Yeah.
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 The Liquid line.
Old Dave from Table Ready Gaming got me 1 bottle of liquid silver, and yeah, that stuff is definitely fun. That was a gift that I was very excited about and very much enjoyed using. Again, something that surprising, something that I wouldn't have bought for myself, but something that is useful and made me happy. So perfect gift right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of these little specialty paint sets that are outside the core repertoire of your gifty, strong possibilities. Yeah, or even just, you know, one of those sets that really nails a particular color range, like who has good purples or teals? Like that's something most of us are missing.
I think are pretty highly sought after types of colors. 'Cause there's not that many.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Another option out there is one of those subscription boxes. So Asset Drop is another one that will kind of do the job of putting in a few rando little bottles of paint from companies you might not have tried before.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know the exact pricing structure or anything, or if you can, you probably don't want to give a full year's subscription of anything as a gift. Even a magazine like White Dwarf, a year of that is pretty expensive, right?
I think it's like $100. Yeah. I mean, it could be worse, but
yeah, hey, depends how good a friend or relative you are.
True. Yeah. I've never bitten the bullet on a White Dwarf. Like, I've always wanted to, but it's like I'll kind of wait for spoilers, and if there's some set of rules or something in there, then I'll go pick up the copy. But yeah, it's one of those weird things.
Well, that's an option. I hadn't thought about that before.
There's copy.
A copy, yeah, buying a copy, buying the most recent copy of White Dwarf, especially if it has, like a big serif font on the front of it or something. Like,
Yeah, it's
there
a
you
good
go.
call. Yeah, I like that.
That's not, again, depends how much you like the person, if one issue of a magazine is an appropriate gift or not, but certainly bundle that with, you get a few metal colors in there. There you go. That's wrap that up. Maybe throw a painted Goblin Santa in there, and that's starting to be a nice gift. Yeah.
I would not be sad about any of those things.
No, you would not.
I would not.
So yeah, there's the like random boxes. You got your asset drop. You got your warp fire minis. Along that same line, Games Workshop does sell the random Space Marine heroes. If you want the experience of getting like a random thing, that's not a bad stuffing stuffer.
Gotcha. Good, nailed it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed it. Look, every one of those Space Marine heroes that I've ever opened has just been a regular trooper named Castor, but I'm told that some of them have good models in there, and roll those dice.
Have you really done that? Is that like you've gotten a couple and they're the same model? I hope that's not true.
I think I have a total of 4 of them, and I think only 2 of them are the same. But
that's such a bummer.
But well, I mean, that's what it's got to be. I think there's just only like 10 or 12 different sculpts, and they need to have a couple of them actually be rare, and so that means mostly you're getting the guy with the bolter. Yeah.
Right. Still a bummer.
But
I mean, you're only getting like one of them in a stocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you don't put 3 of the same Space Marine hero in the stocking, then you're good.
Yeah.
So there you go. You only put 1 Space Marine hero package in each stocking, and you're not going to have a problem.
It's a good call. Definitely.
Unless there's siblings, and like one of them opens Castor with the bolt gun, and one of them opens Lord Captain Ticonderoga, and then you've got a problem.
Yeah, you do. The balance.
Look, and if there is a sibling situation, the worst gift you can give is anything with a whippy stick. That is why whippy sticks are removed, because too many little brothers were whipping their larger brothers, and then were thoroughly retaliated against.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they're red or blue; they leave nasty red marks.
That's a very good point.
That's the gift that keeps on giving right there.
I still don't understand that.
Yeah, if your kids aren't civilized enough to play miniature war games, they can at least beat each other with these nasty red whippy sticks.
Right. I mean, that is probably the worst thing you could put in those boxes. Because you could really get those things going. Yeah.
And in the
Warcry box, they were clear plastic 10-inchers. But they weren't whippy.
Yeah, it's the extra 8 inches that really get that art going.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What else we got here, Brent?
Well, I'm somewhat serious about the Space Marine heroes there. Those are kind of always at the point of sale,
Sure.
They got those up by the cash register when you've got your actual gift picked out. Yeah, sure, throw one of those on top. Roll the dice.
I mean, hey, if
somebody's
got to
get Lord Captain Ticonderoga.
Somebody does.
Yeah.
Hopefully not your little brother.
Let's just beat him with a whippy stick until he trades.
The bolter is better. Yeah. Let's see here. I wrote a bunch of stuff down, like stuff that is easy to give as gifts. Might not be the best thing to give, but it's nice. That new Space Marine toy, the McFarlane one, those are $20.
Oh.
Like, they're not that expensive, and they're sweet.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
I don't know anybody who's into Warhammer who wouldn't be like, yeah, sure. I'll throw that up somewhere and have a sweet Space Marine 9 inches tall.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Not everybody's into bobbleheads, but I think there's bobblehead Space Marines, Funko Pops, whatever they're called.
The Funko Pops. I got a handful of those. Yeah.
I don't understand that world, but some people do.
I got friends who are like, they're crazy about those.
Of course,
Funko
if you're a Funko Pop person and you get a second Funko Pop Space Marine, I don't know how those stack up. Well, I guess you can repaint them.
Yeah, obviously.
Do some custom jobs.
Repaint them, right?
Yeah.
It's easy, at least for the Warhammer Funko Pops. I've seen some awesome repaints of the action figures too. Like really good ones. Yeah.
Really good ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's a possibility. Small terrain bits. These are one of my favorite things. I think that's a good one. Yeah, because
that's a really good one.
Little like static grass, or you get some little foliage or little flowers or little trees. Even a jar of sand. Like that gets me every time. Like I like getting those things. I know that people like getting them. Because you never know when you're going to need something like that. And I think out of everything that we've said, it's the stuff that ends up going away, right? The little items that just disappear over time that are the really good gifts. Because you can never have enough of whatever is going to disappear.
Yeah, I really like the idea of little terrain bits.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do the fancy, like, special resin cast bullet casings or whatever, but just the tufts of grass, especially like different colors of tufts of flowers.
Yeah, like random colors too.
Yeah. I think those are really good gifts, especially if they're kind of a little bit off of the main product line that's sold in every store,
Mm-hmm.
Like most stores will have the 6 different tufts from Army Painter or something like that. And I mean, most people are going to use all 6 of those types eventually, but you could, do one up by getting a brand that's not sold in every store. Or, again, not the white, yellow, or red flowers, but like the blue flowers,
Exactly. Yeah, just the funky colors. Because they make you stretch, You got to think about it when you're using them. But you might not use them all the time, but, that opportunity, again, is going to present itself. And you're going to go, holy crap, I have a bunch of those flowers, and now I can use them. And you're going to be so happy that you did. Yeah.
I think that's a winner, Casey.
I like it.
Look, this episode is going to drop on, the 7th of December, and, there's still time to shop quickly for 2020. Or you revisit this again in 2021. Keep it in the back of your mind. Maybe you buy yourself some little tiny flowers.
Yeah. I mean, that's inevitable
that
anyways. Like, I wait till after Christmas and then go, okay, I'm going to grab that and that. Like, I do enjoy getting a gift card to a local shop. Like, I do. Because it's nice.
The best gift is always expired Halloween candy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we are introducing a new little segment here.
Mm-hmm.
We've been thinking about, what else we like to talk about, where to get conversation starters from, and comments is always a good one. But this segment is comments where the people were not intending to be featured on Paint Bravely the podcast. These are comments that we're mining from, any of our kind of 3 YouTube channels that we have going between us here.
Mm-hmm.
4 if you count Goobertown Cats. I haven't been checking the comments over on Goobertown Cats recently, but technically a possibility.
Point. Yeah. So
here is a comment that was left on the Goobertown Hobbies channel, and it says it's from I Stormhammer.
Guess we're doing that.
And it says, take a shot every time Brent says paint bravely.
In an
Drink
episode
to
of
that.
Goobertown Hobbies. I think he said it like 6 or 7 times.
Yeah, I'm learning to do cross promotion,
right,
on my Goobertown Hobbies YouTube channel. But it's easier to fit paint bravely into sentences than it is to fit Goobertown Hobbies into sentences.
Right.
So I've been kind of pulling this, well, we're working on the eyes here, and I know it can be really nerve-wracking to go in and paint those eyes, but sometimes you just gotta paint bravely.
Yeah.
Paint Bravely is the name of a podcast that Casey and I host like every other Monday.
Segue. Yes.
I don't think anyone else enjoys it, but I do, and it might help this stupid podcast. So
I mean,
that's the thing now.
Look, like it's doing enough, right? And whatever. Ice Storm Hammer. Yeah. I don't think he meant that in a bad way.
Oh no, he didn't.
No.
Or she. The picture is of like kind of an angry cat. I don't know. I don't know if that's a
indifferent cat.
Well, it's a shifty looking cat.
Yeah. So who knows?
Look, so we don't encourage drinking games here. If you get really drunk because of this, don't blame me. Blame Ice Storm Hammer.
Right.
I don't know if they can be legally responsible for anything stupid you do, but yeah.
They could be talking about basketball.
That cat looks shifty. You can't trust it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was a quick little one. Just a warm up. We are in this segment. We're pulling comments from anywhere, and they can be on any topic. And part of why we wanted to do this is Casey and I, between ourselves, we talk about, especially like negative comments, we talk to each other about, and sometimes our conversations are pretty fun.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes it's just venting. On both of our channels, we get all kinds of off-the-wall comments that are just funny to talk about, funny to share.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get like weird, hateful George Floyd deserved to die comments, which I mean, that's not what today is about, but like sometimes, venting helps.
No, I should throw up a quick disclaimer though. Now, a lot of people who do comments from their YouTube channel in either video form or podcast form, whatever, end up encouraging comments that could possibly end up on that segment, right? So a lot of us are usually discouraged from doing something like this. That being said, both Brent and I have literally no problem banning someone from our YouTube channels whenever they have some shifty crap comment. So even if you're trying to be funny, right, don't get yourself banned. Not that I think people who are listening to this podcast are going to go out of their way to do that, but I got to throw up that disclaimer.
Yeah, if we start getting like a lot of racist, angry comments from Pete Mopsicle, and if I ban it before I realize that it's our old friend Pete Mopsicle,
exactly.
Hey, like we'll maybe that's why I haven't seen Pete Mopsicle in a while. Maybe I did ban him.
No, he's around.
Around? Okay.
Changed his.
But anyway, the idea here is we're just drawing from random comments, and even if you try really hard to get featured in some stupid way, very low chance. The chances are much higher that you'll end up getting yourself banned. But
pretty much.
Here's the comment that I chose as like an actual conversation piece this week.
Yes.
So this is on the video that I did painting up the Jazzy Strikers, the minis that Jazza put into his art box.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, they're from Puppets War. I realized that all of the minis actually are pretty much exactly from Puppets War except for the Jazza head, but they're Space Marine knockoffs. Another one of those, but they look cool. Yeah. Resin. And anyway, that video, I was painting up those minis with just the colors that I had in that art box, and the minis themselves ended up being yellow with some red accents, and then on the bases ended up being black with fairly bright blue accents. So here is a comment. Minis, yay. Bases, meh. Why did you put the worst possible color on them? Blue, the most contrasting color to red and yellow, stealing the attention from the model. Please check the color theory. Now,
Yeah.
when I first read this, my initial feelings were just a hint of anger. I don't know, just the
Yeah, I can
wording
see
of
that.
it. But it's a really interesting point though, and if we give it just a slight tweak, it's actually a really good conversation starter. So we'll flash up a picture of the minis that we're talking about here. But I think this is a really good question of, should your bases be the same color as your minis? Should they be, on the warm side of the, color scale, or cool colors, or should you? Yeah, Casey, do you have anything to say about these blue bases, or any rules of thumb in general in terms of matching minis to a base color?
Well, usually what I like to do is pick that kind of secondary color or something like that from the model, or something neutral, right? So like in
Okay.
this case, I can see where the this guy's coming from, saying that like the blue is taking away from, because
Mm-hmm.
it's really bright blue,
It
next to
is.
the really bright yellow armor. So I get that. I think it looks cool, but if you had gone with red instead of blue, it might have brought the red out in the model a little bit more,
Interesting.
kind of tied that together. Or alternatively, doing something like, a silver base with red powder, like pigment powder on the bottom, or brown pigment powder on the bottom. Like bring a
Yeah.
little bit of that color and filter it. So I totally get where he's coming from. Obviously, could have been said a little bit nicer.
It is a good topic of conversation though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yes. Sometimes the way I think about it is trying to pick contrasting colors between the mini and the base so that the mini stands out.
Right.
But in this case, probably what I should have done is darkened down that blue. Or
Yeah.
the set didn't have like a purple or anything, but maybe if I had used like a darker blue or like a dark purple or something instead, uh, maybe then the contrast would have made the mini itself pop more. I don't know.
Yeah.
My my normal go-to on base is gray always works. Black highlighted up with a dry brush of gray and white. Oh, that works with anything.
Right.
That's
Like a neutral. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
that's a mini painting crutch right there, but sometimes you got to paint bravely and try a different color and see
Exactly.
what happens. And in this case, yeah, I think it doesn't quite work. Like I thought it would be cool to get, blue and red and yellow all into the same package to try to get those three primaries, depending on your definition of primaries, all in the same place. And it didn't quite work. I think I do basically agree with a commenter.
Right. Right.
Except for this is wrong, check color theory. I don't think color theory says that something always works or something never works.
No,
There's
it's just like
some
rules
guidelines
of
in there,
thumb,
but
guidelines.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I actually think that another thing that might be going on here is that the saturation level of that blue is a lot higher than the yellow.
Mm,
So it's like there's a vibrancy to that blue where the yellow is like sharp and defined and kind of white almost at its edges.
well, I
Uh,
highlighted them almost with white. Yeah.
right. So I think it because when you highlight with white, it desaturates, and I think that might be also why. So like you were saying, if you had toned that blue down, like even if you just throw some Nuln Oil over the bases, I bet you it would just look better on its own.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a color theory problem.
Yeah, you could give a gift on color theory as a gift as a book of it. A book as a gift on color theory? Hold on.
Color and
Color
light.
theory book as gift to painter?
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
to think about there. Yeah.
Well, that's the dude that wrote and illustrated Dinotopia, that series of books, has a book that is the one that's mostly recommended that I hear about, and I'm pretty sure it's called Color and Light. Pretty sure.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I have it on my shelf somewhere.
Right.
I
That's
flipped
the one
through
to
it.
get,
I have not read it closely, but I flipped through it. It's a pretty book. Yeah.
Yeah. I always like those, that Dinotopia. Never read it, just looked at the pictures. Like, it's really good. Really good illustrations. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So where would you take these like if you had these bright blue bases on, under these yellow minis? Are you planning on doing anything, or are you just like, hey, the project's over?
I think the project's over. Once I put out a video, unless I
Yeah.
unless I really have a good reason to do something else with them, they sit as museum pieces and little reminders of that silly video I did with Jazza that one time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was seriously considering, giving them like a forest base or something, and so a lot of browns and greens in there.
Yeah.
Mostly that was because of what was in the art box, though.
Oh, really?
I think they would look good on like urban rubble, like a lot of like concrete slabs and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, use the cork board of you know what I'm talking about. I saw
All
your
that
recent
cork.
videos with the Terminators. Yeah.
Yeah. All the cork. I love cork.
Oh yeah. It completely different topic, but I thought it was hilarious when you cut a slot into your cork so that you could glue down the slot base
Right.
Terminator. Yeah.
Well, it's like normally I cut them off, right? I just snip them off.
Right.
And in this case, I was like, I might as well just try this out, see if it works.
It
So,
actually
works
kinda
really
works,
well. Like, I
It
still
doesn't
pinned a
hurt, yeah.
foot, but it was like, okay, well, maybe I'll think about this in the future, because like that worked really well, and it's definitely stuck in that cork. Like, there's a lot more
Yeah.
surface area that it's holding on to with the super glue. Yeah.
Well, I think we do need to have a full episode on basing at some point. Like, that's a really good topic for an episode.
That would be
And
fun,
I know
yeah.
that we have been getting like actual good comments on this
Mhm.
channel for topic ideas. And we're planning, we got some good stuff coming up. This
Yeah.
episode was gift giving because of the time of year, but we got some good stuff coming up. In theory, in 2 weeks, we'll have thought of something.
Yeah, probably. If you would like to leave a comment, anything about this particular podcast, or if you want to leave some kind of suggestion for an upcoming episode, we're on youtube.com/paintbravely the podcast. So subscribe there and, leave a comment. We are compiling comments right now.
Always.
Yeah, always, really, yeah.
All right. I enjoyed this episode. Happy holidays, everyone. We'll talk to you again before the holidays, but
That's true. We have one more before the holiday.
The holidays, yeah.
All right. Thank you again for joining us on another episode of Paint Bravely. If you enjoyed this podcast, please help us out by leaving us a review on iTunes, subscribing to the YouTube channel, and sharing this message with your hobby friends. As always, we appreciate each and every one of you for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Talk to you next time. Matt knows what to do.
Every time.
Every time.
I don't have anything quippy to say, though.
Matt knows what to do.